Welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Lucky Duck Decoys. I am Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
Speaking of Lucky Duck, did you see that new product that they're coming out with? It's got like a fan that you can put in the dog kennel.
No, but that's not a bad idea at all.
It's pretty badass. Runs off of I think you can charge it, and it has like 6 to 10 hour battery life.
I wonder why no one's ever thought about that before. That's a damn good idea.
But brand new product that Lucky Duck's coming out with, and it's gotten like I think there's a pad too for the kennels, and I guess it's specific to their kennels, so.
It's got a keypad, like a security pad on it?
The air conditioner?
No. The pad on the, I thought you meant.
A pad that the dog lays on, like a cushion.
Oh, that's good.
Cushion. Taking care of that pooch.
So Lou's going to be in air-conditioned padded
the whole
style
way.
now.
The whole way. Well, he doesn't like riding in a kennel anyway.
That sounds really good. All right, with us today from Goodyear, Arizona, our friend Britt Morris. Britt, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing good.
Well, it's just a couple days ago you were fucking drinking beer with us, having a good time, and now we're back into the heat. Well, heat minus humidity.
Yes. Yeah, that was pretty rough with the humidity, but I guess could have been worse. But it's 117 today here, and I'm staying inside all day. I'm not even going to look outside.
I can tell you now that if we would have had one of those kennels with a fan in it, we'd have had that fan hooked up to us this weekend. St. Louis was very warm.
It was warm. It was one of the warmer days I can remember back in the Midwest. I used to go to Cardinal games and stuff this time of year, and 90% humidity is not the most enjoyable, but we made it happen. It was fun.
I can't imagine going to a baseball game like that.
Yeah.
Oof.
It was a good time though.
Yeah.
Start to finish, like they had it on. They had everything dialed in. It was a good time.
Yeah, super well organized, and it was fun. Like they kept us busy the whole time with cornhole and the calling and everything. It was fun. Got a tour of the warehouse, and all good people.
Did the calling contest go like you hadn't seen it going?
Yeah, I just especially on the open goose, that's kind of the guy, like you guys have talked about before. A lot of people can blow a duck call fairly well, but when you cut down on a single reed, that's on a goose single reed, that is a short reed. Those are the guys that really have the big talent, and a lot of big names there. Hunter Grounds and Trevor Shanahan, Robbie, they put on a good show.
Yep, Robbie Shanahan, his best round was his third round. So
yeah, I agree. There was the guy from Minnesota. He had a pretty good third round too. I don't know. I thought they were all very good, but you could tell like Hunter Grounds, I think going into it, he was like 4 points up or something, and he kind of slipped a note that third round. And anyway, it was good all around. I thought there were some good callers, and good to see it anyway.
Makes a big difference. It is fun seeing the big boys go up onto the stage and then rip. So, but now it's back to the heat.
Back to the heat. Yeah, we're 116 tomorrow and 118 Thursday, Friday. It's kind of in the dog days right now. So it's pretty miserable time of the year. But we get 5-6 months of 75, 80 degree weather. So
when will that happen? When do you get out of like the triple digits?
Late August, September. The really hot stuff, end of August, I would say. Mm-hmm. September, it's still pretty warm. Like when we get into our duck season here, which is mid-October, we've seen it. You'll go hunt and it's really cold at night, and 65, 70, really cold for Arizona, I guess. But by like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, it's 90, 95 degrees. So heats up quick. And
I just can't imagine ducks and geese coming to this state.
You and me both. Yeah, I moved out here from Southern Illinois in 2009, and I kind of just figured, if I want to keep my waterfowl career going, I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and travel. But wanted to get out of where I was and just try something new. So ended up taking a job in the ag industry here, and I was in after college. So that was 2011, 12 in that time. So when I started getting around the farming community and stuff like that, and obviously we have not a lot of big water here, but we have canal systems, obviously, that feeds us all, from Lake Mead and Lake Powell. So the water that is here usually will hold ducks, if they don't get pressured a lot. And, with the ag around, it's unlimited food year round. So to my surprise, when I did get into that industry and into those areas, started finding, decent concentrations of birds. And, especially when California is dry, even Salt Lake and stuff like that, they get cold temps, or it's dry in California, it kind of funnels the birds to us.
So are these do you have residents there that are there all year round, or is there a big migration, or both?
Yeah, so both kind of. I wouldn't say, the resident population is huge, but there are, I've got a couple places that we actually built, and flood some corn and flood some, sedan and stuff like that. And those little ponds, it'll have on an acre pond, there'll be 4 or 5 mallards that have broods, and the broods are pretty successful here. We just don't have the predators, and the water levels are pretty consistent in those spots. So I don't know why the hell they stay here, because it's so hot. But I couldn't imagine wearing that winter coat through 117 degrees, but they do, and they seem to do well here. And during our peak migration, you might see 20 to 30,000 ducks within, Phoenix and Yuma, I would say, and, in one spot there might be, 4,000 or 5,000 birds that are stacked up. But I would say decent for where we're at with the number of hunters we have and the amount of pressure that they get.
Will you go to, do you go up north and hunt much? Like towards Flagstaff area? That's a whole different. Arizona's so weird because you've got the desert area, which I think of, which is I always figure is at least 70% of Arizona. Then you get the mountainy area, the mountains up north. Do you hunt up that way much?
I don't a lot. I'll go up there early season. It's just kind of almost like with you guys in September, or shooting early teal. If you go up into the mountain range, you can get into them then. If you get a true migration day, I've seen, big flights of pintails come into the mountains and stuff, but me growing up in the Midwest, kind of in and around a lot of agriculture, not really a big lake hunter. And up there, it's just so hit or miss. There's not any ag. It's basically you're hunting on top of a volcano, and, you're hunting in big game country, really. So it's not big waterfowl. And, me being 2.5 hours away, here in the valley, it's hard to get up and put a good scout in to get on any really, really good hunt. But I've been up there and done it a couple times.
So I'm assuming water is a huge asset to have around Phoenix.
Absolutely. Yeah, water's name of the game, and that's what I was saying. Like, in Texas there where you guys are, you guys have big, big lakes and, reservoirs and stuff that, that's kind of your roost, I guess. And here we have just a lot of canal systems. Every once in a while we'll hit a reservoir or something like that will hold a pretty decent number of birds. And if you can get in between those bigger bodies of water and some ag, usually you can be pretty successful. But just like anywhere in the country or world, scouting is the name of the game, and it's almost full-time job here in the winter, just trying to stay on the birds.
Now, what's the main crop that they'll get on? Is it barley?
No, it's actually alfalfa. Okay. We do like a lot of alfalfa hay, and in Texas where you guys are, when it does get dry, you guys have kind of a rough year. We send a lot of hay from Arizona back to Texas, so a lot of mom and pop shops there, retail hay and stuff like that. So, but like right now, we're at the end of our wheat harvest right now. So right after that, they're going to plant cotton, and you get further down towards Yuma and stuff. It's a lot of produce, lettuce and stuff like that. But when we're hunting in November, December, we're hunting in mainly alfalfa, but we do hunt barley and wheat fields. But that barley and wheat is just coming up. It's almost like spring snow hunting. For a lot of guys, they're hunting those winter wheat fields and stuff that are coming up.
Yeah. So it's like a green field that you guys are in most of the time.
Yeah, green. Yeah, it's between the alfalfa and the barley and wheat. Yeah, pretty much everything is green here. If it's dead, it's already been harvested, or something like that, or something else is being replanted in it. So not a lot of stubble fields or anything like that.
When does your season start?
So in the mountains, I think they're like early September or maybe mid October, and then down here in the desert we're first part of November. So we actually run. If you wanted to, add up the mountain season with the desert, we have about 102, 103-day season in Arizona. So, but I mainly, like I said, just hunt the desert. So, we get 90 days to get after them and liberal limit. So it can be good at times. But when it's slow, when it's dead, it's dead. And when it's good, it's good.
So there's still a chance that when you start hunting, it could be hot.
Most of the time that early season, we'll go out just because you got to go out. It's opening day. It's opening. Everyone's excited. So we try to get our birds by 8 a.m. and get out, because if not, you're going to be in that 95 to maybe 100-degree temps, and even mid-November sometimes.
Do the birds still fly even though it's hot like that?
They do, and like you said, talking about the resident population, those birds will fly. Well, sometimes, if it does get cold up north, Salt Lake or wherever, and you might get some calendar birds that pushes them out. So we'll get some of those, but not a real great flight, just like a human or a big game. Once it gets hot, they don't want to move. So that early morning flight will happen, and then it's pretty dead after that.
Yeah, I can imagine. So do you go most of the hunting season just in like short sleeve shirt?
In the morning, it's crazy because we don't have a lot of humidity here, so the desert at night is really cold. So we'll bundle up, like if we're four-wheeling in or whatever, and then once you get there, you kind of strip down and you're in t-shirt. And being in the waders that time of year, if you do have to hunt water, which I hate to hunt water that time of the year, but it can get warm. So, but we actually do get cold temps, moving in later than into the season, December, January.
How cold?
I've seen skim ice will be 18, 19 degrees.
So that's cold.
Down in some of those lower areas. But it heats up quick too. We'll go from, on those days, it'll 18 in the morning, by 9, 10 a.m. We're 75, 80 sometimes.
Wow.
That's big swing.
That's a big swing. Do you Lake Havasu, does it hold any kind of waterfowl?
It does. I tell you, that lake is just, depending on the time of the year, it gets a lot of traction from bass fishermen, and they do some guided, fishing stuff out there. So there's a little place north of it. It's actually across the border into California. It's like a bigger marsh, and they'll actually hold a pretty decent number of snow geese, once they kind of move down, and they'll hold birds there. But it's like, Havasu itself, it doesn't hold any big numbers.
That's a big part. Is that a pretty place to go to?
It's pretty, yeah. Spring break, it's really pretty. There's a lot of scenery.
Arizona State, all Arizona colleges, like the eye candy there, you see them on social media, and Arizona's got a lot of hot chicks go there.
A lot of hot chicks, and then you get the California schools come, UCLA, or all those people come over too. It's either like Rocky Point, Cabo, or Lake Havasu. So you go to one of those three spots during spring break, and you're gonna see some good stuff.
Mm. So which state do you have? Which one has the prettier girls, California or Arizona?
I just hate California in general, so I'm going to say Arizona.
Yeah. It's funny because everyone I've met from California, that hunts is a great guy. Every one of them. They're just like we are. They're just stuck in a liberal, fucked up state. But
yeah, they're the minority there, right?
Oh,
yeah, there's a lot of good guys in California. It's just, they're outnumbered.
Last Arizona guy we had on here come out spouting off about California, John Manny, and he had everybody in California pissed off for a long time.
Oh yeah. No, there's a lot of people like being in the ag industry, like the Salton Sea down through there. It's kind of the Imperial Valley. There's about 500,000 acres of ag ground, and it's a lot of produce and stuff. they're all like-minded guys. A lot of guys here are, farmers anyway. They're big game guys, not a lot of waterfowl guys. But, it's, as far as California, just kind of stay away from L.A. and San Francisco and everywhere else. You go north and kind of into the farm country. Those are our kind of people.
Now, I think Arizona, y'all are getting indoctrinated with Californians.
I don't think indoctrinated is a word. I think inundated is the word for it.
Inundated is the word, not indoctrinated. Yeah, that'd be right. You're right.
Flooded very much so. Yeah, our population, we've been since 2018 about 100,000 people added to the population every year. 2021, like I was just looking, they were showing 7.6 million is our population, and I got to imagine by the end of this year we'll be pushing 8, because it's just the housing and the commercial, the tax, just for tax purposes, just like people moving into Austin and all these other places, Idaho, they're just trying to get out of there. So it's frustrating to see here, because not only with my job, I'm losing farm makers to concrete and people, but those people are bringing a lot of their California mentalities to Arizona. So that's a little frustrating, but just trying to make the best of it. Just try to really avoid those people and just do me. So it is what it is.
Can you imagine what's going to happen if them fuckers in California ever figure out that the Dakotas and Nebraska and Kansas are great places to live?
I hope they don't.
Well, me too.
I hope those places are too rural for them, that they don't go into those areas and start, changing those places either. I mean, you can already see it. Like you guys were talking to Ted Wells the other day with Bozeman. Like Bozeman was just a little spot on the map and just a pretty place, and it's not far from California, so those people are moving there doing the same thing. So it's frustrating.
What you said, urbanization's a real problem there. Have you lost any good hunting ground recently?
Lots of hunting ground. Here there's between Onyx and plat maps and county assessor maps and everything like that. You're always trying to be that quarter mile away from a structure. There's nothing there, and then the next year it is there. There's ground that I hunted geese in last year and field mallards and stuff like that, and they're buildings now. I've kind of seen it coming, so luckily you start scouting into different areas where birds are going to push out and stuff. So it's difficult though. It's like I said, it's constant in the winter. It's a full-time gig. When I get off work, the first thing I do is go scout, because the birds are just on the move. You can only hunt so many places here. A field might be stacked up, but between houses or whatever, it's getting tough.
Are there a lot of other hunters out there? Like, are you having to compete with other people out there, or do you pretty much have the run of the mill?
Not a lot of competition 5 years ago, and then as we've grown with population here, just kind of more people moving in. So starting to see more duck hunters that are moving in, from other places that are looking around. So a little more competition, but still opportunities.
I never think of Arizona as a waterfowl state. I think most people don't. I think of it as old people, golf courses, and lots of Mexicans.
Well, that's pretty much right. That's pretty much it on the head. But it's crazy. I've always told people, when I was in Southern Illinois, we had that big population of Canada geese back in the day. Then between no-till farming and more food availability and not as cold of winters, we stopped getting them, and we started focusing on mallards because we still had those. And I kind of hit the heyday of duck hunting there, and I was like, I'll never see this again in my life. Just kind of hit it at the right time in the right spot where I was, and I moved to Arizona and just kind of accepted that, like I said, I would just going to have to travel. And throughout the last 5-6 years that I've really been going hard and found a good group of guys to run with, best hunts and best memories of duck hunting are right here in Arizona.
How did you find the group that you're with right now?
A lot through either hunting shows or like Ducks Unlimited. I mean, Arizona is a melting pot state. Everyone's from everywhere else. I'm in Illinois. The two guys that I really run with are from Iowa. So through DU events, outdoor events, just kind of talking, and all of us wanted to go hard, and now between those two guys, and there's, of course, we have more guys in our group that live in other states and stuff, but, we travel 4 or 5 times a year, put 30,000 miles on trucks, and we're all relatively young still, and a lot of wives are mad at some of the other buddies, but kids are starting. But we've been able to really run it hard these last couple of years, so it's been a lot of fun.
Now, where all will you travel to? Do you go to, like, states right around where you are, like California, Utah, or do you travel?
I stay, even for work, I try not to go to California. I try to just call those guys. But no, yeah, we go north a lot. Obviously, we had three trips planned to go to Canada last year, and obviously COVID kind of knocked us out there, so we were scrambling to go places. But yeah, everywhere that we want to go hunt is far from Arizona. Like minimum 12-hour drive. So Idaho, Oklahoma, Kansas, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota. We always try to, like last year we couldn't do Canada, so we went to Early Goose in North Dakota, and that was a lot of fun. We've actually done that the last 5 years, so that's always been a fun trip.
Did you have any luck in North Dakota?
Hit or miss, man. It's the area we were in. They got hit by a snowstorm late, and they couldn't get their corn out, so a lot of it just got dissed under. So not a lot of wheat around. There's a lot of water, but between other pressure and stuff around, when you did find birds, it was good. But finding them or getting on a true flight path in between food and water in that time of the year, they're not flying far. They don't want to fly far for food. It's hot, so. We had good days, that one day we'd have a banger, kill 20, 30 geese. The next day you kill 4 or 5, and it's just like back to tearing up gravel roads and finding the next good one. So it was fun, but it's always difficult that time of year.
Yeah, and them not flying makes it so difficult because, I've seen it to where they literally hop out of the water hole to the, sometimes they'll walk out. It's like, well, how the hell are you going to hunt that? Like, you're just going to blow them off the roost whenever you go in and set all your shit up. So early season's tricky because you want a place, that's relatively close to the roost, but not too close to the roost. And, like, it's hard to traffic them that time of year because they're not flying very far. So early season's tough. Early
season's very difficult. Like you just said, they'll walk out. So the roost is also the loaf, and it's, they're walking into either a cut wheat field or sometimes even a standing wheat field, and they go eat, and then they go sit back down and have a drink, and they don't move. So yeah, but you find a nice 300-400 bird, roost that time of year, and it's like you just can't do anything with those birds unless you just literally went in there and blew them out, and so that's difficult. But every once in a while you'll hit a good field and get it right. So
sure,
it's still fun just to be up there. We kind of look at it as just kicking off our waterfowl season. We know we're not going to go up and shoot big numbers,
right?
But it's just something to kind of get going.
So do you think if Canada's open this year, y'all going to try to go up there and get that trip off the ground?
No question. Yeah, we'll do whatever it takes to get in. I got vaccinated last April or something, and solely did it to get into Canada. By the off chance that they would have opened, they didn't, and now I regret it. Now I hear you guys talking about let's just get a faulty or a phony card, fake COVID card. Now that's what I wish I would have done. So, but yeah, we definitely will go up probably September, and then we have a group of guys from Iowa that we're talking about going in October. So we'll probably go September, October if they open.
Go ahead.
Talking about the vaccine, I had a guy message me today that's a podcast guy. He said he had to get the vaccine. His wife's pregnant, and he had to get it. And he said he didn't have any taste or anything, and after he got his vaccine, he got all his taste and smell back normal.
Really?
Yeah, and he said, boy, that alone right there was worth it. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to have to disagree with you on that because my taste is horrible now. But he said he got all his taste and smell back after he took his vaccine.
Well, I saw that, but I didn't.
Oh, you saw the same thing too? Yeah.
I didn't read the message.
Yeah, that's what he said. I thought that was kind of interesting. What do you think the chances of Canada opening? I'm saying it's less than 10%.
Why do you think that at this point, just with COVID and just how liberal they are kind of with open? I mean, they had talks, Biden and him talked the other day about opening, and then obviously they said no to opening it. So they're extending that again. But why do you not think they're going to open, I guess?
Well,
just for that.
Trudeau is a liberal fucker. We all know that. They don't care about the people that are there. They've shut down all their businesses. If they were worried about it for the economy, they would have had fishing open this summer because that's a lot bigger business than the hunting business is, and they didn't do that. I just don't think they'll be open until I think time they get all the kinks worked out, and you're going to have to jump through. Anyway, first of all, if they do open it up, I think you're going to have to be quarantined for 10 to 14 days before you're allowed to go anywhere. So they're going to have a hotel set aside and put you in it for 10 to 14 days before they're going to let you go running through the site. I don't think they'll have it open this year. I think, and I'm going to stick to this, I think when it does open in 2022, to go up there to hunt, you're going to have to hunt with an outfitter, and you're going to have guns that's provided by that outfitter. I don't think they're going to let you bring guns across the deal.
What does that have to do with COVID?
That's just going to be more part of it. I think it's the whole situation. I don't think it's just a COVID deal. I think it's guns, COVID, Americans bringing guns and ammo across the whole thing.
I think it's 60-40 they open, but you have to have a 2-week quarantine. I do think that they're going to have something to that effect.
How many guys can afford to sit around for 2 freaking weeks sitting in a damn Canadian hotel doing nothing just to get to go hunt?
I can't afford it, but MasterCard can, so I'll be there.
But how many guys can be gone for 21 days to get a hunt 7?
Yeah, that's going to be, with our crew, obviously, between kids and stuff, it's going to be tough if they do that, but I'm still going.
It's going to be.
I got to be there for a month quarantine. I'm going.
It's going to be a divorce maker for some old boys. The one sitting next to me on the left right now. If it opened up and we said, we're going to go to Canada and go hunting, just the guys are going to go in October. There's no way you could afford. Jesse would let you go sit for 14, and I don't blame her. I'm not going to go sit for 14 days in a fucking hotel. No, that ain't happening.
Well, I mean, are you saying like me, like I am now with
kids and stuff? Yeah,
or like with the podcast and with dove season and with all my other obligations, or just me?
If you had a free week to go hunting or 3 weeks in October, which you don't have, there's not very many people first that has 3 weeks to kill.
Right.
And then there's very few men whose wives are going to let them do that even if they had free time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't see it happening this year. I hope it does. I feel sorry for the outfitters up there. That fucking sucks. And you know what? Here's the thing. It doesn't affect anybody's business in America. If you're an American outfitter and you're enjoying this, you're not helping yourself any. There's nobody going up there that's going up there instead of going to hunt with you. They're going to hunt 2 different times or 3 different times. It's a pre-kicker for the rest of the year. It kicks everything off. And I feel sorry for them guys up there. It's a bullshit deal, but I think about like our government, they don't give 2 shits about us, and I damn sure don't think the Canadian government, they really don't care about the people in the middle. Their bread's buttered in Toronto, in Vancouver, in those big cities. They don't give 2 shits about the little people. And so I just do not think it's going to happen. I hope it does, but I don't. I mean, hell, it's June 15th right now.
Next week's the next week's the deadline or some shit like
every
that.
21st the 21st of every month they release that it's going to be shut down another 30 days, and then it's going to be July 21st, and then when they come.
Point.
Yeah, and then in September 21st when they come out and say we're not going to be open until October, then everybody's going to finally say, well, fuck, it's going to be next year again.
Right.
But
valid point. Like you said, like this is their big tourism season and fishing and everything. So if they're not going to open now, why are they going to open in winter when everything's closed down and everything anyway? But yeah, it does suck for those outfitters, small businesses that rely on a lot of hunting people to come up and keep restaurants and all that kind of stuff open. It's sad to see, and I hope you're really wrong about the having to go hunt with an outfitter, kind of like Mexico is, because as a freelance hunter, more and more people are gobbling up land. There's a lot of people that are running their own little private clubs and everything else. So as a freelance guy, it's getting tougher and tougher. And Canada still has that opportunity for, guys like myself. So
maybe you'll run into a real nice guy like that fat guy in Oklahoma that tried to help you that time.
That's right. Yeah. That was very nice of you to, because we had a tough couple days when we got there, and luckily we did find one place in the center of outfitter world down there that we got to hunt. But called you up and we were wanting to shoot some geese, and you're like, just hop in the blind with Poppy and Zach, and we were super appreciative of that, and we had a great hunt and a great day. So there's a lot to be said for an outfitter like yourself.
Well, I was just messing with you about that part, but it's hard to find places to go, and I had a guy at SquadFest was telling me that, and I told him, I said, listen, you need to go to places out of the beaten path. You've got, and Hobart used to be one of those places. It's not no more. You know, I told him, I said, you need to try, well, this is going to make the Colorado people mad, but go to fucking middle of nowhere in Colorado. Find a map and find a place where there's no big cities and put you a pin down somewhere and go there and go that place and build you a circle of friends. It may take you 3 or 4 years, but that's the only way you're going to get in, because you're not going to get nowhere in Kansas right now around any of them refuges, because there's 27 freaking outfitters in every county now. You're going to have to go somewhere way, way, way out of the way. What was your place that you ruined for everybody, Andy, in Colorado?
Alamosa.
Alamosa. Yeah, you're going to have to find a place like that.
Lots of bands out there.
Yeah.
A lot of bands.
But that's what it's going to take to get on places. But Canada, man, I tell you what, I saw a lot of birds, and I feel sorry for it. Man, can you imagine the town of Quill Lake? Those people built a business relying on September and October hunters forever. Yep. And their government's backing out on them on this deal.
Nick Costas, he's starting a place up in Canada, but he said even if Canada is open this year, he's not taking outfitters up, or he's not taking clients rather. He's just going to go enjoy it himself. He's going to figure it out, and it makes a lot of sense, because he's like, I've never, I just bought these zones last year. He's like, so I don't want to have a bunch of clients and me still learning an area. So it makes a lot of sense, but and it's getting to be so late in the game. If they push it another 30 days, and let's say in July they announce that it's going to be open, there's a lot of moving pieces that you got to have as an outfitter that you've got to get done in 6 weeks. And I just don't. If they don't open it in June, it's going to be tough for a lot of guys to get work visas and have clients, get airlines and just everything. I can't see it happening. If it doesn't happen this month, I don't see how any outfitter can work fast enough to salvage their season if it opens in July or definitely August. But have you been to Canada before?
We have. Yeah, I've been to Saskatchewan and Alberta. And like you were saying, just trying to get out of those areas that are kind of heavily pressured with other hunters or outfitters or whatever. And we've found some of those areas, and over the years of traveling, we've got some good contacts that we go back to, farmers and stuff. So that's helped a lot. But yeah, that's why I said, I mean, if I got to quarantine for a month to get into Canada, that's fine. Like I just want, that's the spot to be. So whatever it takes.
What do you give them a bottle of bourbon or something?
Bottle of bourbon. A lot of them are farmers. So between like being down here and being in the ag industry, I'm a grain trader. So seed salesman, just talking with those types of people, seeing what's going on, how's life, how's the farm, how's the crop, just stuff like that. And then, yeah, obviously booze always works. So
I think a lot of guys for a while were taking them like tobacco. I guess tobacco's insane up there. So I
bought a can of Copenhagen long cut the day we left Canada because I ran out. $38 for a can of Copenhagen.
What is it here?
That was 2 years ago. Is that what you asked?
What is it here? How much?
Oh, $6 can. Ooh. Yeah. Spendy stuff, bad habit.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys, they would, smuggle it across the border a little bit more than they can probably were allowed to carry across, and then that was, give them a sleeve or something like that as a token of their appreciation. But Canada's a nice place. No matter what I say about it, it's a very unique place, and it's just a shame what's going on up there. But if
it's one of those places that's still wide open, it's that you have some freedom as a waterfowl hunter to go up, and there's opportunity everywhere up there still. Like I'm sure North Dakota was the same, 10, 20 years ago,
right.
Where you could go up and free range and you had a lot of opportunity, and there's a lot of places that are getting overrun now, and whether it's drying up potholes from the farmers or outfitters or other hunters that are locally just taking over. So Canada is just one of those last spots that you can go and really get after it. So
have you gone to Colorado?
Never been to Colorado. No. Kind of hunted all the way up and down the Pacific Flyway and a lot of the Central and some of the Mississippi Flyway, but have not been to Colorado.
When we were in Canada, we didn't even run into another outfitter or another group of hunters. We were way up north though, but we didn't run into a lot of people. But North Dakota, we hadn't been in North Dakota in 3 years. We went back-to-back years. The second year we were there, it was a whole lot more crowded than it was the first year. I'm betting you this past year was a real clusterfuck in North Dakota. I mean, it had to be.
I can't imagine.
And now it's dry there this year. So it's really going to be a clusterfuck in the areas that's cold in water if Canada isn't open. If Canada's open, it's going to be a. If Canada opened up with no quarantine, my fat ass might even go up there in October.
Yeah, I can't imagine North Dakota. Just like trying to put myself in a farmer's shoes. If you have your land posted, I can't imagine the amount of phone calls they were getting.
Oh my God!
You know, people trying to get on, and then if people did get on, you know, like you said, it only takes one guy to ruin the whole program. They go out and rut the field or leave a bunch of trash, and a lot of those guys up there are deer hunters, so they don't want you, you know, shooting guns on it. And it's gotten a lot harder over the years up there. It was kind of a hidden gem for a long time, and now people are traveling and doing other things. So we almost need Canada to open just to relieve North Dakota a little bit.
I wonder. I don't know if I dreamed this or read this. Are they going to have digital trespassing now, where you can go online and you can mark your property as not that you can't hunt it, instead of having to worry about all the purple posts and stuff? Maybe I dreamed it, but I thought that North Dakota was going to that, where you could go online and pull up a county map, and it shows you all the property that's posted now.
That wouldn't surprise me. With people coming up and, like, you know, landowners getting pissed and stuff, I would not be surprised if they go to a program like that.
Because every time I'd go by and I'd see a sign that guy says, "This land is posted, no means fucking no." Well, that's the first guy I want to call just to piss him off. Hey, do you mind if we hunt over there? You know?
This says right here, North Dakota landowners are now able to post their land electronically. The 2021 legislature passed a law making electronic posting equal to physical posting, and penalties and defining offense. It also allows only lawful hunters and anglers to access fenced, unposted land for hunting and fishing activities only.
That's going to change the game.
So I wonder if it'll be like OnX, if, you know, when you look at the property like on an OnX type app, or maybe even North Dakota might even sell their own app, if it'll just say no hunting here.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they want to link up with OnX or something, since so many people use that these days to put it on there. But I almost bet they would probably come out with their own app or something.
That's great. I also saw that the Packers are going to have electronic tickets. There are no physical tickets anymore.
We're going to a baseball game, believe it or not, next in 2 weeks.
Well, you sure folded on that, didn't you?
I got really good seats. They're on the floor.
Oh, they've always been good seats, but you said you weren't going to go for it.
I'm not paying for them.
I understand that, but you still said you would not go to a Ranger game. Well, the seats, we've known what the seats are going to be for 2 years.
No. These ain't the family seats. These are, someone else gave us some seats that are on the floor. They got some seats that are you're at the field level. You're with the players.
He's always
I don't want to say his name. Now people are going to be looking him up trying to get his tickets.
Flip, flop, flow.
Okay. Anyways, the tickets that he sent me, that's what he did. He sent me a link. I had to download an app, and the tickets are on my phone. I just walk up our parking tickets and everything and do it. So I think they're all going to that now.
But it's Texas has its own app. I didn't realize this, and I'm sure Arizona does too. You can buy a hunting license and all sorts of stuff on it. But I'm assuming North Dakota is going to have it to where there's just like a big old map. You pull up, but I mean, that'll take a lot of the guesswork out.
It will, yeah. You're going to know what you can and can't go hunt, and I would almost rather have that. And, you know, if you find a field full of birds, instead of trying to chase a guy down all day and kind of putting off another scout trying to bank on that, you at least know, hey, we can't hunt this, or hey, there's maybe a chance we can get on it. So, yeah, like I said, take a lot of the guesswork out.
I don't know why the state of North Dakota hasn't cashed in on this deal and said, listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to provide an electronic plethora of information for you here with all the fields. You want to go in and do this, you got to slide a credit card in. It costs $100, and you do it, and they send that money to them farmers. They take it off their taxes or something at the end of the year.
You're just all about fucking the poor little guy, aren't you?
Would you not pay $100 to guarantee you a field if you wanted to?
What are you talking about, though? I don't understand what you're saying.
If you want to reserve that field, it costs $100, and you just pay the state the money, and the state can take it off the guy's taxes. They don't let them lease their property out, do they? In North Dakota, they're not allowed to lease their property, are they?
Ooh, I'd have to look that one up too.
Same with Canada. Canada, they can't lease it out. They'd be better to do that. As a do-it-yourself, or if it cost $100 to have field trespassing for a group of guys, you'd pay $100, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
See, that's
big enough feed, we would.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. But if you got 8 guys and you're paying $12 a piece, what's it matter? You know?
Sure.
And you're guaranteeing you're the only person there. It's the same thing they do with these blinds. Some of them blinds and some of these federal refuges cost $50 or something.
Yep.
You're just all about making it harder on the
I'm not making it harder. I'm making it easier.
What about if it's just a father and a son up there, and they're already kind of tapped for resources, and now all of a sudden they got to pay $100?
Well, then
to be able to hunt.
Then go hunt some public water somewhere. I'm not trying to cut anybody out. I'm just trying to make it easier so there's not 14 groups going to the same field in the morning and it's a big fucking wrestling match.
Sure. We've done that before too. Like you said, father-son type people. Not a lot of experience waterfowl, and they're like, day 6 of a trip, and just they've shot a mangled up looking,
shoveler,
merganser or something, and just really struggling. We'll be like, hey, just come jump in the blind with us for the day or whatever. So, yeah, you hate to see guys up there, especially like that, like a father-son that have this is their big trip for the year, not a lot of cash. Like, at least get them on one good thing. Because anyway, yeah, it's been interesting, meeting some of those people along the way too. There's a lot of people that travel hunt that really still don't, not to say that we're hardcore or anything, but they just don't necessarily know the program of how to scout, how to do that kind of stuff. They're just go set up next to a pothole, and because they're in North Dakota, they think they're just going to shoot the world, doesn't always work out. But
that's exactly right. They hunt on Lake Smith right outside of town. They're the only people that hunt on it. They go out there and they kill 6-7 ducks every time they go. Variety of all kinds of ducks. Every once in a while they get lucky and shoot some mallards. And they think, shit, let's go to Canada. It's all going to be mallards. It's going to be an easy hunt. Canada and North Dakota are not easy hunting if you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
No,
there's way too much competition from nature itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not easy on these trips. I can't. How many dollars of tires and broken shit, hunting equipment that we've spent. I think all the money I've made in the last 10 years is into waterfowl or fuel, trying to find waterfowl or something. But yeah, it's not easy. Especially if it's not your backyard and you're 2,000 miles from home. It's not easy.
Well, everything's just so spread out up there, and it's just, there's so much water. You'll drive miles and you're like, the fucking water, that should have a bunch of birds on it, and it doesn't. But everything's just so spread out. And scouting, like you said, you'll burn down the roads. If you're going on a week-long trip, you better have two solid days of scouting, or maybe even 3, to make sure that you got enough places to where you can feel like you can pull off a good hunt.
Sure. Yeah. That we've skipped out on hunting a couple days of a mediocre hunt to find that one good one, and that was worth it, because we didn't, we could have sat in the blind and shot 8-10 birds and, singles, pairs, whatever, but we wanted to find that big one that was going to be a grand slam. And sometimes you got to give up a day or 2 of hunting to just keep on going.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. So shit, we're mid-June. We don't have much longer now. We're going to find out if Canada's open, and then, really the best days of the year are coming up in a hurry for us.
Coming up in a hurry. It's hard to think about when it's 117, but yeah, it'll be here before you know it. So I'm definitely getting excited for Arizona. I was just going to say something about our decoys and stuff here. Early season, we run pretty much all dive bombs now. I have way too many dollars in full bodies in my garage and whatever. I don't know what the hell to do with them. Just a nice centerpiece, I guess. But, early season, we'll run 10, 15 dozen dive bombs. And by the end of season, December, January, we'll be running 50 to 70 dozen mallard, pintail, widgeon, silos. So we get a lot of widgeon here. That's kind of when our true migration happens, or what I think of the migration here is when those big wads of widgeon get in. And last year was our biggest number of pintails I've ever seen in my life. Between 3 of us that kind of really hunt a lot together. We kill around 30, and at one bird a guy, not, it takes a lot to get that, and a lot of cinnamon teal. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that little detail out.
So you are you field hunting these ducks most of the time?
A lot of the time, I hate hunting water.
Yeah.
I don't like to get into waders unless it's a really good spot. And it's with Arizona being how it is, a place that you had 10 good hunts the year before might be dried up next year. So it's a constant movement, just like a river is always moving. So I always just try to find big bodies of water, and there's some that are always there, whether they were a mine or whatever, that will hold big numbers of ducks. And I just try to scout and get in between them and they're in the field, or if I can get into the field they're feeding in, then that's where I'll hunt.
So you have primarily duck decoys, or you also have goose silhouettes?
Oh yeah, we've got 100-something dozen DB. We'll throw anything, but yeah, we out here it's mainly just ducks. But every once in a while we'll get some Canadas in there. We get a lot of Canadas that come out of like Salt Lake area, but they're all on the golf courses hanging out and all that stuff, so they don't move very far. But we'll get into some geese every once in a while.
Did you buy any decoys at SquadFest?
I didn't.
No.
I didn't. We've had a decent spread between the 3 or 4 of us previous to all this, and obviously we were flying home, so we didn't want to buy too much.
Yeah, because you had to take them the next day, didn't you?
Yeah.
So
didn't bring anything home as far as that. So,
but it sounds like you got a pretty sweet setup out there. So.
It's fun. It's obviously has its challenges, just as you guys do when it gets tough there. You guys don't have winter, birds are stale, whatever. It's the same way here. I mean, when it's good, and they're so sensitive to pressure here. If you get into a spot, you might be able to hunt them 1-2 days of the week, and you got to leave them alone, or they'll be in Mexico the next day. So very pressure sensitive birds, but when it's good, it's a lot of fun here. A lot of fun shooting them in alfalfa fields or stuff like that. We'll set up. I don't like to hunt out of layouts, but if we're hunting Bermuda, or like if we can get into a cotton field to be able to shoot over barley or alfalfa, we'll do that. But we hunt out of A-frames a lot of the times, and just kind of make it look like a big brush pile out in this alfalfa field, and it seems to work well.
Well, it's so much easier than dicking with those fucking layouts. Oh. How do you get a dog ready in Arizona? It's 117 right now.
Yeah, you don't. I don't have a dog right now. I did when I first started hunting here, and wasn't really hard to keep him conditioned. Yeah. Not a lot. You can't be outside, but I don't know. That's my 2 buddies' problems now. They got the labs coming. I'm just going to be there for the hunt.
But I mean, you can't do anything past about 8-9 o'clock with them. So
Yeah.
And it's hot all the way up until dark, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, like I said, it was 94 at 5 a.m. this morning when I woke up. So it's hot all the time.
Yeah, like you can't do shit with your dog. You'd have to find a body of water, be the only way. And
Sure.
and I bitch about it being hot here, Jeff, and that's always my excuse.
Yeah, I don't think Lou's seen outside. Has he seen the daylight and what?
He's got to take a shit, Jeff.
I think he just does that at night when it's cool. Lou will not go out in the rain or the heat.
Yeah, he don't like the rain. You open the door, he's like, fuck that.
Spoiled rotten dog.
That's right.
Well, hey, if you run into my buddy John, you tell him I said hello, okay?
Absolutely. I'm sure I'll see him at a DU event or something. I'll see him around, but I'll definitely pass the word on.
And if you get up this way, you sure holler at us and let me know how Canada's going if you get to go.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great to finally meet you guys. Put a handshake to the guys always here on the podcast and your faces, and got to see Stoner and all those guys. So a lot of fun, and glad I got to meet you and be on here. It was a pleasure.
It was a great weekend, and we're going to go to Game Fair the second weekend, I think. Me and Andy are fixing to sit down and talk about that. I'm going to get some airplane tickets bought and go do that and be another get-together, and I hope it's as much fun as SquadFest. It's going to be a hard time to be as fun as SquadFest, but hopefully it will be.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, if it's too hot here, we might just fly in for it. We'll have another drunken weekend.
I didn't want to bring up Elevator Boy, but yes, that's true.
Oh gosh, he told me today. I said I'm gonna talk to Jeff and Andy. He goes, just you can tell him whatever you want, just don't tell him my name.
So since we haven't mentioned any names, I guess we can give a brief overview as to what happened.
Y'all
Can we
went-
do that? Can we give a brief overview as to
Yeah.
what happened? We'll just say the elevator story because that's funny.
Y'all went to the gay bar with Logan Pyatt, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Just to sum up the weekend for this in particular guy, puked on the Uber Friday night, lost his water Saturday night, or lost his wallet Saturday night, got kicked off the plane Sunday night. So he had a really rough 3 days. But yeah, that was the same guy that he unfortunately was didn't quite make it to his room and passed out in the elevator. The elevator doors were trying to close on him, and yeah, just a real rough 3 days for the guy.
Is he sober yet? It's Tuesday.
Yeah. I talked to him this morning, and he's like, "Man, I got to really straighten some things up." Yeah, he's finally sober. I think his wife sobered him up more than anything. but yeah, he's good and well. But yeah, he I don't know. He had a hell of a 3 days.
Does he drink like that all the time?
No, I think that he has a young baby, so I think he used to drink that way and thought he could keep on that program and proved not to be.
What there was another guy too there, a young kid that threw up in the bed.
Yeah.
That was part of that was part of I don't know if he was with Pyatt or not. But,
he was the other side. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we got to see pictures of that. Lot of puke pictures from the weekend.
Logan, I'm starting to wonder about Logan. He's bad fucking news. Andy got drunker than he normally does, and you threw up.
I did.
Tony tore his fucking elbow up and got a black eye, or his shoulder. Logan's burst some sack in his elbow, he thinks. The elevator boy kept getting the elevator door closed on him. The other kid was puking in his bed at 9 o'clock at night.
Well,
I'm glad I don't drink much.
The first night, Logan woke up in the parking lot.
No, on the floor of the hotel.
Floor of the hotel.
Yeah.
Y'all found him.
No, he was outside the lobby, and some guys walked in, woke him up. He passed out. I don't know if he was out there, but yeah, it was rough.
Michelle,
we got back to the hotel, and elevator boy got out and puked right in front of the hotel, and somebody was standing there. They were like, "Sometimes you just gotta let the demons out."
See, I threw up. In my defense, I did not throw up that night. I woke up the next day and I was just like, I feel like shit. I'm gonna, instead of fighting, because I don't like to throw up. It's like a last resort, and I kind of had a little bit of foresight, and I was like, I'm not gonna feel like shit all day in that heat. I'm gonna go make myself throw up and feel a little bit better, and it worked a little bit. And then I just got a headache. I could not drink enough water. I was just fucking sweating.
That's the only thing that saved me is, I guess, past experience with being in those conditions and puking myself. I was just like, hammer a beer, hammer a water, hammer a beer. Just got to stay hydrated. So yeah, he was not on that program. He was. That's why he had 3 rough days.
The blue beer too. God, life's too short to drink cheap ass beer, and they sold 21 fucking kegs of that shit.
Bush, it's what they had.
Oh,
it's what St. Louis is known for.
I just.
But it was a good time.
It was a great time.
Great time. Yeah, it was fun. It's fun all around, and everyone was really personable and got to chat with everyone. And the Dive Bomb crew, props to them. They're all good people and take time out of their day and took time out of their busy schedule at the SquadFest to say hi to you for 4 or 5 minutes, and it's cool.
Well, Asher, he didn't talk to me much. He only talked to me for like 90 seconds once. He's like, I don't know who's a bigger dickhead, you or Shanahan. I said, well, thank you. Good talking to you, Asher. No, he didn't say that. They were very accommodating. It was a great time. Can't look forward to it next year. I sure hope they do it every year.
Even the free water. Like they had stations of free water and Gatorade and pizza. And I mean, it just, how many shows do you go to? And it's like $3 a bottle. I mean, so like just little things like that are what made it. They went out of their way to make sure everybody got what they needed.
Yeah, it was a great deal. They went way out of their way. I appreciate them. Hats off to Dive Bomb for putting on a hell of a show.
So it was a pleasure. Like you said, though, it was a pleasure meeting you out there. I'm glad we got together, had a couple beers. And if you guys come up to Game Fair, look us up, and we won't go quite as hard, but we'll do something.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great meeting you guys, and thanks for having me on. And hopefully we'll talk soon. If I ever get to Texas, I'll look you guys up too.
Awesome, bud. Well, you be safe out there, and stay hydrated.
Absolutely. Have a good day, guys.
Bye.
Thank you, bud.
All right. Britt Morris.
Good kid.
Woo, it's
Good
fucking
kid.
hot out there. 117.
Yeah, but they ain't got no humidity. So it feels like it's 112 here, which would be hotter than hell today.
Hot.
All right, let's get off here. We got stuff to talk about. We'll talk about it on the next podcast, and we're going to just rant about the world.
Okay. Well, then, I say let's do it then. Check out all of our sponsors. Check out Dive Bomb Industries. Check out Gundog Outdoors, Pacific Calls, Boss. Can't forget about Boss. Dirty Duck Coffee, Lucky Duck. Check out that new dog kennel thing I was talking about. Looking Glass Duck Club Podcast, Eyesight Drone Service, Goose Creek Retrievers, Bangtail Whiskey, and Stanfield Hunting Outfitters.